Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Sketch to Tech. On today's video, I'm going to tear into my Monark SilverKing. I'm going to show you how to check, replace if need be, and adjust your clutch to its top performance. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we go. First on this engine, this is not the most typical thing. I just have a Phillips head. 5 Phillips head screws to remove. Sorry, my gas line. I was too close to the cylinder head. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and remove this cover. This cover has a little paper gasket behind it. And we're going to see what the clutch looks like. So the clutch consists of a pinion gear, ring gear, clutch pads, act on a flywheel, it's behind there. Okay, so we're going to remove this set screw. Fire me a little bit. Okay, so to a large flathead. There you go. Easy as pie. Okay, so we remove that set screw. Keep all your parts together. Possibly, I'm going to lay this set screw inside the case. Okay. Next is this flower nut. The way to remove that is by depressing your clutch. And what it's going to do is going to lift this pad, and you can pretty much pry this off. First with a little blunt edge, and eventually this is going to come off by finger force. Okay, so there we go. And fingers. I'm gonna undo that. Sorry, I know that looks really intense, but it's no problem. Just a few threads and it's gonna come off. Okay. And this is going to show us our clutch pads. So obviously you can see that the first thing I did was look at the plate, the catch plate here, and here's what it looks like. It's kind of it's a little bit shined up, which means that I was taking some excess pressure. Like the grating is a little bit worn. Okay, let's see what was going on here. There's our spring. and there's quite a bit of clutch material left. So what we're going to do is we're going to just readjust, but we're going to wipe down the pads first. So now that we've wiped down the clutch pads, what has to happen is that this wear here, it's caused by the clutch slipping, pretty much, and it's because it's not the spring internal to the case is not adjusted properly, and in order to readjust the spring, you would need to take apart the case, break the bearing presses, and all that jazz. I need to get on the road, so I'm gonna do a slightly augmented adjustment process, which doesn't do the full gamut of what can be done, but either way better than nothing. We're going to first release the spring. Which is good, okay. We're going to remove the plate for the drive side gear. This should be 5mm. Okay, 5mm Allen screw. Sorry you guys can't see this part. This is pretty straightforward. The reason we're removing this portion is because we need to hold the left side of the case of the drive shaft steady so we can remove the clutch. And the reason we're going to remove the clutch is because we need to make sure that the obverse side of the pads is not wearing irregularly, meaning that it's not. We need to make sure it's not doing damage to the plate on the reverse side. It's sort of like you can imagine the whole setup as a sandwich. The pads are sandwiched between two plates, which we're about to see. So right now with the cable removed, obviously the clutch is engaged, That gives a little bit of a frictive force so we can remove it. We're going to have to actually physically hold down the chain on the drive side so that we can remove the right side. Okay, here it goes, coming apart pretty nicely. The top Allen screw on the drive side holds my chain guard. So to remove a nut from that side. Okay, so now we grab our 5/8, 7/8. I haven't done those. Okay, not metric 17 millimeter, 19 millimeter, 19 millimeter socket, and we're going to start to disengage this nut. And so the way you do that is by either holding these prongs down, or like I said, hold the chain down. So that's what we're gonna have to do. All you have to do is wedge something in between the chain and the sprocket, and that should do it. And there you go. So I just jammed a pair of pliers in the back of the sprocket. Okay, here we go. This is our retainer nut. And there's a star washer. And do not unfortunately have a pick. So the way you remove this washer is pretty much by gravity. Just tap it facing down, and it should eventually fall out. It's kind of tedious. Okay, just keep tapping, and there it is. So this is our star washer. There it is. And then to remove the actual clutch, you need a clutch puller. So I definitely want to remove this because there's metal particles. You might have some metal to metal contact on the back, which would be the death of this clutch. Okay. So the puller, this little dookie here, it comes with pretty much every engine kit you buy. So I think I have like 2 of these. Okay, what happens is you need to clean the threads on both the puller and your clutch set. Here we go. You just pretty much finger tie it all the way in. Make sure that the press is all the way threaded out, and that the clutch and the retainer is itself all the way in, and this can be done finger tight. You can always check with pliers. Sorry, not with pliers, with a wrench. So that's almost snugly in. So we're gonna go ahead and check with I just have to double check that what I'm pressing against. So it appears I'm pressing against the spring. Sorry, I just have to reckon this out. Whether this is a good idea to just use it, or I need some sort of other adapter. Okay. It's not 3/4. Is it 17? It's not. Okay. Sorry, folks. Currently, I'm using an adjustable wrench, which is generally worse than using a exact wrench measured to this gauged wrench. I'm going to use this, and looks like we still have some give. So I'm gonna get this nice and snug in there. And once again, you can sort of work this in by holding the reverse side down with the method that I had said. Let's jam something. The drive sprocket between the drive sprocket and chain. Okay, looks like I trust that that's in. Now we work the pressing portion. You just thread that in, and you're going to tighten this as much as possible. Looks like this is a 9/16. Okay, and this should come out pretty easily because there wasn't really any force on this to work it in really strongly. Just a simple nut, the nut adjustment nut that we had tightened previously. That was the only thing that pushed it together. So getting it out is like butter. Okay. Oh, also the way that it was pressed in is with a key. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out a clutch pad. There's a clutch pad, and then we're going to try to ride it across, see if there's any, how much the clutch pads give in any direction. So it looks like there is a little bit of clutch material between this. I'm not definitely liking the condition this clutch is in, but there's definitely some clutch pad material. And then if you look closely at the actual contact surface, you can see that, oh, if it would focus. Sorry folks, it is out of focus. Okay. So if you look there, and I turn this, you can see that these markings are all clutch pad material. There's no missing, no dents, no scratches. So, and that is to my liking. So we're going to keep this clutch the way it is, and just definitely some cleaning. I just use a rag, no need for any solvents or anything. Okay. Maybe also flip the individual pads if possible. The reason that you flip the pads is because there's a different grading on either side of the plates. So if you change the sides, they'll be graded in different directions. So hopefully that will help add friction, which I'm currently just destroying my pad material. And do that for all 16 of your pads. And I just remember where I started, it was a little irregular shaped pad, so I'm going to do this until I get back there. Let me unlock the focus. So we're going to have to change out that woodruff key once we're installing this back in, which is a little bit of a nuisance, but it's nothing that I can't handle. I have a box of woodruff keys. They sell for about $79.99, $7.99 a piece on bicycleins.com. I got a pack of them, assorted sizes. I only really need two. Assorted size, not much cheaper. It was $15 because I only needed two. Not much cheaper. And plus, I had to go out and buy those. Oh, this one is really hardened. I might have to change one after all. This clutch pad is gone. It's completely hardened rubber, old. Just somehow aged rapidly while inside the bike. Okay. Because all of the other clutch pads are really rubbery. That one was just solid, ready to crumble. And obviously that happened from some sort of irregular heat patterns. And we're almost back to the number 16 pad, or number 0 pad here. And I'm going to change one of them. My pads, oh, this one too. It's interesting how the really crumbled ones, I installed them like this, but the crumbled ones are the ones that suddenly became hard as rock. Okay, so that's what we have. We have 2 clutch pads missing. We're going to clean this again since we reversed the order. And I'm going to go grab my pads really quick. Okay, so here's my bag of clutch pads, and we're going to open this up. Okay, that's what we have. We have 2 clutch pads missing. We're going to clean this again since we reversed the order, and I'm going to go grab my pads really quick. Okay, so here's my bag of clutch pads, and we're going to open this up. And we're going to pour them out. Okay, here's all the clutch pads, and I should have 2 in here that are already set to size because they do vary. There's a clutch pad. This one might be the size. Let's see, probably not. Okay, you might have to adjust the sizings on this ever so slightly. They're too long and too round, and why not? Why does everything have to go right? Right? Okay. So here we go. Okay. So we're gonna work these pads into roughly the same size and shape as all that. So there we go. Just ride your carbon wheel just back and forth across the surface, wherever you have extra surface. And there is a rough measurement that you can take. However, I did this a few times and I'm kind of sure of my accuracy. Learn to check. So it's closer. So right now it's this one is slightly tall and wide. Okay, and they do have a bit of a tapering to the center, towards the center of the. They're like a little pancake, a square pancake. They taper towards the inside of the clutch. And yeah, but some of the ones that came from the factory were god awful fit to begin with, like too tiny, and you saw that what I showed you was destroyed clutch pads. Okay, still too wide. Take the most generous portion off. And you see that little burlap material that's ingrained in there, you want that facing forward. For some reason the front of the disc is more, for some reason it has more frictive force than the reverse, so it's the most important. So I'm just using a basic grinder wheel with a Dremel 4300. Okay, that is almost a fit. And if it's thicker on the outside than the part that's lifted, that's fine. As a matter of fact, I've seen some mods to clutches people have done, and they try to make a more continuous pad. That's like the upgrade, the end-all be-all upgrade. Apparently that's the thing to do. Okay, so right now it's fitting a little bit. Just the top is still not. As a nuisance as this is, you can imagine what it's like to change all 16 of these. And pretty much work them. Not that bad though. Just get into the rhythm. And you can work all 16 of them in about 20 minutes. Okay, there's my clutch pad. And I'm not liking how it's not flush. It is because it's thicker than my last pads. Okay, is it slightly thicker? Okay. Take down its thickness, and I'm going to work the part that fits into the glue. Let's see the thickness. The thickness is about even. And there we go. Sets in pretty nicely. And then we're going to there. And then the same thing for the next pad. So now I know this. It's too thick. So I'm gonna tone that down a little bit first. This is a powerful abrasive, so you can't only take off too much without even noticing. So take care. This is the grinding bit. Definitely made for other purposes than to grind down pads. Okay, guess it's probably too tall, but we're gonna give it a look-see. Okay, that's probably my only issue now is the tall. Okay, now it's thick on the side, too wide. It's also round at the top, so that's probably the hardest thing to capture. Material you can do it perfectly, but it'll slope all around, and then work more material off the side. Now I'm just working on the parts that's actually fitting in. And we're going to just slide that in. Too tall. We're going to work off the bottom. It should be good now. I took off a lot of material. Thick. Okay, and that's jammed in very nicely. There you go. So 2 clutch pads are changed. They're uneven, they'll wear themselves down very quickly to the size of the others, which is not a good thing because others are worn and we're pretty much wasting material. But at this point, like I said, I just need to get on the road. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to, well, unhitch my little jimmy rig here. We're going to, and this will be the ideal time to clean the carb because we're about to remove it. The reason we're going to remove it, okay, so now the clutch set is refit. I'm just going to remove the carb because for the next portion of our adjustment, we need to get to the cable catch that holds the cable. It's like an anchor point that moves the clutch arm, or helps retain the cable in order to move the clutch arm. We need to get to that, which is blocked by the carb. So I'm just going to remove the throttle just by undoing the cap. So just let that hang. Then we're going to remove the hose. the gas hose. Make sure to have something to catch the gas in. I do have this. I have a little gas clamp, hose clamp. Okay, so that should be thoroughly drained. My gas is almost off. Okay, there we have it off. There's the catch of the fluid. And the way that you get the carb off is just simply by removing the metal clamp. Okay, so there's that. And also I need to remove my air filter, which is always a pain to get back on, but it's a good thing. It's about time to get it off. I'm going to give it a washing in case it's accumulated a lot of gunk. It does look like a little dusty. Okay, so there's that, and there's our carb. Careful not to drain the carb. It has a good amount of gas in it, which is fine as long as we keep it upright. Okay, I'm gonna set it into this little box, which is handy. Then we're going to unscrew that anchor point and see what that looks like shortly here. Okay, I'm going to use pliers because I don't have a better tool for this. Here we go. And count the total number of screws. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So pretty much 12 full turns of this, and that's what it looks like. It's pretty much there's the post that screws into the case, and then it's like a tightening screw that holds it down, and it just needs to be pointing directly in your direction of your clutch cable, so as not to create a lot of friction between this point and the cable. You see it's pointing pretty straight. Okay, so now that I have that removed, this is a slight trick which doesn't always work, that I learned from LA hover bikes. You're probably familiar with this channel if you found mine eventually. A lot of good advice and tricks from that YouTuber. So what happens is, as it was demonstrated, you can kind of see the clutch pack or the clutch drive shaft tucked away in there from this point, and you can also typically see the adjustment butterfly screw that's in there. And you're typically able to push that one way or the other to adjust it. And if your clutch is not engaged fully, what you have to do is you have to tighten it. So literally push it to the front side of the engine. If you would see the way that it looks, that'll be the front side. on your flashlight. Let's see down in there. Okay, so we're gonna install the clutch set back in. You see this little groove right there? And this is the reason that we have these little guys. So these are Woodruff keys. Pretty much it's a softer metal than steel. And what happens is they fit right in there. Oh, it fits very nicely. So technically you don't want to reuse them, and they're actually not supposed to fit that nicely. They're supposed to be a little bit tight fitting. So let's see if I have a better one, because this is the area that you don't want loosening up. This is like what's driving you. So, and they're sort of like a little sailboat shape, and I just slide in there. First the reverse, and then the don't like that one either. We might have to reuse the Woodruff key, because I don't like the set that I have. You're pretty much supposed to fit in such a way that all its points of contact, once you slip on whatever you're trying to fasten, in this case the clutch set, is supposed to expand this Woodruff key to the point where all the points of contact are in high contact with each other, well, in contact with the shaft. So we're going to reuse the Woodruff key that we had. Okay, so I had to take a quick intermission to figure out this Woodruff key deal. So the way you set this is you have to have the Woodruff key sort of inside the groove, sloped forward, so that as this groove lines up with the Woodruff key, it first jams the Woodruff key, and as this thing sets forward, the Woodruff key drops into the shaft's groove. So we need to use a little mechanical force and knock that in. And lose all your pads in the process, but it's no biggie. Okay, just keep knocking that in until you feel it's set. Mostly until you see the Woodruff key. And actually until this is flat, the bevel gear and the ring gear. We're almost there. Just a little apprehensive on this portion because it's a little rough going and I can't see behind this thing. I don't actually know what's going on. Looks like it's snug. I cannot see the Woodruff key. Also, a good idea is to have an oversized socket. This is what I use to knock out bearings, and it's also will fit here. So you can give a more a more focused thrust. And there you go. If it's like sitting flush and this bevel gear sort of in front of this and all this looks like it's fitting, and it feels like it can't be pulled apart, that means that it's in the right position. And I know I can't see the woodruff key here exactly, but like I said, I picked a really large woodruff key, so it might have just slipped back a little bit, but there's no really other position that this can fit, like the way that it's visually lined up right here. So you could just call this good, even though this is not an ideally how it should look. So we putting in the pads back in now. Okay, and then once you put the retainer nut over this, it should force it back maybe a little bit, probably not more than we hammered it in already. Okay, so let me just recover all my pads. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna have to do this again, like this month, because I'm seeing now I should have changed some of these other pads as well. Okay. So we assemble everything back into reverse order. We take the spring, we set the plate on top of the spring plate, the plate spring. We excuse me, not the right order. Okay, each other, in contact with the shaft. So, we're going to reuse the woodruff key that we had. Okay, so I had to take a quick intermission to figure out this woodruff key deal. So the way you set this is you have to have the woodruff key sort of inside the groove, sloped forward, so that as this groove lines up with the woodruff key, it first jams the woodruff key, and as this thing sets forward, the woodruff key drops into the shaft's groove. So we need to use a little mechanical force and knock that in. And lose all your pads in the process, but it's no biggie. Okay, just keep knocking that in until you feel it's set. Mostly until you see the woodruff key. And actually until this is flat, the bevel gear and the ring gear. We're almost there. Just a little apprehensive on this portion because it's a little rough going and I can't see behind this thing. So I don't actually know what's going on. Looks like it's snug. I cannot see the woodruff key. Also, a good idea is to have an oversized an oversized socket. This is what I use to knock out bearings, and so will fit here. So you can give a more focused thrust. And there you go. If it's like sitting flush and this bevel gear sort of in front of this, and all this looks like it's fitting, and it feels like it can't be pulled apart, that means that it's in the right position. And I know I can't see the woodruff key here exactly, but like I said, I picked a really large woodruff key, so it might have just slipped back a little bit, but there's no really other position that this can fit, like the way that it's visually lined up right here. So you could just call this good, even though this is not an ideally how it should look. So we putting in the pads back in now. Okay, and then once you put the retainer nut over this, it should force it back maybe a little bit, probably not more than we hammered it in already. Okay, so let me just recover all my pads. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna have to do this again, like this month, because I'm seeing now I should have changed some of these other pads as well. Okay. So we assemble everything back into reverse order. We take the spring, we set the plate on top of the spring plate, the plate spring. Excuse me, not the right order. Okay, you take the flower washer, or the star washer, you position this nut here, you tighten up that nut, okay, and then the same thing with the tightening as with the loosening. I'm going to put something there between the chain and the sprocket to hold it in place.